There's my witness. Hope you like fitness, cause I'ma have to sweat you out like it's a sickness. Damn, my body fine. Booty bursting like appendix, and I just wanna stretch her out like she a gymnast. Before we finish, I'ma get the lifting, and I don't need a spotter, I'ma push it to the limit. Deadlift, make a leg switch. When my head switch, swear to God, I'ma eat her like some breakfast. Lift the bar up, I know that your job sucks. I know that you work hard and your bosses are stuck up. One dumb thing away from getting them fucked up. And we'll get you through the morning is a cup of Starbucks. But you been running through my mind like an elliptical. I miss you, girl, especially when you with your girls. But I know I'll come home and I'ma grip your curves and then work your body out like I'm lifting curls.
Finally, TV, here we are, party people, once again. It is your boy Gabriel, back again with another episode of Voice of the Valley, The Return. I got somebody coming back, somebody near and dear to me, appeared on the show very early on. I want to say it was episode 13. Was it 13?
I have no clue. I knew it was the beginning. But...
Yeah, I think it was like 13, and if you've been doing your math, I'm up over 60 now, 2 years ago. So... without further ado, I got my man, JamesEarlWoodz, a.k.a. HOLLO of Beat Taggaz. What's going on, man?
What's going on, man? Good
to see you. Yes. Nice to see you again, man.
Yeah, man.
Welcome back to the studio.
Feels good to be here, man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I see HOLLO out in the world a lot. You know, local events, supporting, doing stuff, always supporting Finally TV. So just wanted to say thank you.
Yeah, we outside.
You know, give you some flowers while you're here. So, you know, it definitely is an appreciated thing. Even if they don't tell you, you know, you showing up at events all the time. Last time I seen you, we was at the Poughkeepsie joint.
Which one was it? Oh, yeah. That was fun, man.
Yeah, that was a good night.
I think that night itself, do you remember what location was?
That was the art gallery.
It is Cryptic Gallery.
Yeah, Cryptic Art Gallery. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was like the first time I started to realize that upstate really is starting to support more. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy, man. Yep. You know, it's been a slow process, but you see it.
Yeah,
you know
man. I see it too. I think it was really dope because shout out to Cryptic Art Gallery. They did a good job over there, keeping everything together. Shout out to Cans. They doo-doo through it. Why do I keep wanting to say Bob? It's not Bob.
You mean B-Mob, right?
Yeah, B-Mob. Bob, look at me.
Yeah.
But yeah, B-Mob, you know, they did a good job putting that all together. I saw Cans out there. I saw D. John. Shout out Tree City Partners and all them.
Yeah, they killed it.
See my dude Dirty out there.
You know, what up, Dirty? Cans.
He has the Bliss in That Show podcast. Actually appeared on that, so make sure y'all check that out.
Oh, you're on that?
Yeah, yesterday. Yeah, I sat with my boy and we had a nice 2-hour conversation, him and I. So it was pretty dope. We actually did it right here.
That's sick.
Yeah, but it's gonna be on his show, so you'll get the audio on his side, and then I'll provide some visuals to kind of follow it up. It was pretty cool though. But back to that night, it was dope because it happened. That thing that I say, right? People, the first guy who performed when I walked in was still there watching performances when I left. That was dope.
I wonder if that's location, though, because you can't go, there's no parking lot outside. It's just the street of Poughkeepsie. Yeah. So I wonder if that's what keeps you inside. Is it location, or was it actually like people are actually starting to support? You know what I mean? Like, because I've been thinking that.
I hear you.
Or is it the...
I don't want to take away from the vibe in there, because, like, honestly, you could leave anywhere. So what, the street is right there.
Yeah, but...
there's not a parking lot right there. I mean, you can still leave.
I feel like, you know, with the other spot, people just go gravitate to that parking lot. There wasn't really like, I feel like you want to be inside there because of that location. I don't know. That's how I felt. I was like,
maybe that's why people stayed, because they felt like you. You know what I mean? Maybe. Yeah. I mean,
well, I never go on the park. I'm always there to support.
No, I know. I'm saying just feeling the way you feel about why. Yeah. But it was true, man. There was a lot of people that were there early that were there at the end.
Yeah, everyone stayed, man. It was that's what I thought was cool about that event.
You know what I think it had to do with too is continuity of the show. It kind of kept moving. There wasn't big lulls.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying?
It was. I didn't even notice the next guy getting on.
Right.
It kind of was just like
when it started, it went.
It's like
And so I think that kind of plays a part into people sticking around.
Yeah.
Because you're right. If you give the mind time to wander.
Oh, you're wandering.
We're wandering. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, like, maybe that does play a part in it. I think, and I would love to think, that it's just people are starting to finally get it. Yeah. Finally. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, another thing it could be is it's also really, like, a tight space. So if you have a group of like, let's say 8 people in a tight space jumping up and down, you kind of want to gravitate towards that tight space, where if it's 8 people in a large space, it's kind of just like there's 8 people having a good time. But if it's tight, it's like, it actually looks like this is exciting. You know what I mean? So
I say that all the time.
It's cool, man.
The size of the venue matters.
I said, man, I thought that was a great night. The energy was awesome. Good vibes. Free alcohol.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We didn't leave till performances were done, and then ended up being able to go down to the next bar. So like we had a whole night of it. You know what I mean?
That was a good time.
I thought it was pretty cool. Shout out to Woodz, man. I seen Woodz out there. So I brought you on today, man. You've been on quite the little run lately. You've been making some appearances.
Yeah, man.
I heard you on the radio
Yep.
a couple times, actually, on a couple different stations on the radio. Showing up in ciphers and showing up at spots and doing music and performing and stuff.
Yeah, I'm pulling up everywhere.
Yeah, man, it feels like it. Your Instagram is lit right now. You always got something going on. Tell the people real quick, just introduce yourself if they don't know, and let them know where they can find you.
All right, I am JamesEarlWoodz from the Beat Taggaz. So JamesEarlWoodz on everything, all streaming platforms, all social medias. And there's no spaces in JamesEarlWoodz, and there's a Z at the end, not an S. And Beat Taggaz is BeatTaggaz.
There it is.
And that's me. Everywhere, JamesEarlWoodz.
Yep. Very important marketing strategy to try to keep it as consistent as possible. So you've achieved that. So good for you. So we bring you on not because we've become pretty good buddies over time and stuff, but because of what I was just saying, you've been pretty busy. You've been doing some work. So you appeared 2018.
Damn.
2018.
No way, for real?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Right? It was the end of 2018.
Sorry.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's been over a year since the whole crew was actually on the show. What's been going on with you guys, man? What's been going on with you, JamesEarlWoodz?
I mean, since that time, man, holy. I mean, I think at that time it was like our first show after the rebranding. So we went to the LNAO Spring Jam or Summer Jam or something. I think it was Summer Jam. And then, man, ever since there, I think at that point we released Tell Me, which was our first.
Tell me what you ain't gonna do. That joint.
We released Tell Me, but then I think we started really working and honing in our sound. We met Verdict after the whole 845 Fifth Street, clashing we had, which is over now. You know what I mean? But I think that's when we met Verdict. We created our sound, and ever since we just been pushing that sound.
Yeah. Been pretty busy. You were also a part of the Battleground Talent Showcase thing that West Point was doing.
Yeah, that was fun. I feel like it was. I really didn't want to win that. I know some people probably say like, "Oh, he it sounds stupid," but like I literally just wanted that for networking and promotion.
And you got that from that, right?
Yeah, I got everything I wanted out of it. You know what I mean? Like it was crazy because you see a lot of like they were like you could get an interview with Kiss FM if you get the most likes on a picture. So I don't see people like going as hard as I did to get that interview. Like I don't think they understood like this is an interview with Kiss FM. Like this is iHeartRadio.
Right.
So I freaking hit everyone up like, yo, like this picture on their page. Like so every opportunity I saw with that, I took it. And I made sure that I got it,
I mean, that's the way you're supposed to do it. Take advantage of the opportunities in front of you.
Like, people there, artists, I networked with them, you know what I mean? Like, Farkas is going to do a song with a country singer. You know what I'm saying? Like, because she's dope. And, like, shout out Raquel and the Wildflowers. Like, there's producers that I met there. I'm still talking to them to this day. Like, I feel like every event I went to is why my streams are where they are. Like if I go to a scratch event, I'm networking.
Right.
And I say I met Rockstar and Papa Dappa. I seen that they were in Queens where my boy lives. Now I'm going to that show in Queens, and now I'm networking with the people in Queens. Now I know DJ Hot Rod or like a couple of other artists I met here. Everything that I went to, I gained a friend, a fan, new knowledge. So that's why I kept moving like that. And that's why, like, numbers keep going up. And I keep keeping people engaged. Like, it's not like, the numbers I got. It's me saying we did it. Because it's literally a community. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, so it's cool, man.
Say it with your chest, Hollow.
I know.
They're not really hearing what you're saying, but like everything you just said is actually the epitome of grinding, you know, and what it's really all about. It's not about, you know, building up your Instagram and trying to get those views on there. It's not about that sort of stuff. It's about the face-to-face networking that you can do. And then you bounce the social media off of that.
Exactly.
And, you know what I mean? And now it's really doing something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The reverse of that, it tends to fall apart, and it's going to fall apart most times, and this is why. Because there's not an organic relationship built with those people. So eventually, when you do meet face-to-face, they might not even be liking your vibe. You might even, like, your energy might be so different than what they thought that they just turned off by you now.
Yeah, like your online self is like totally different. Like
It's
you might be bubbly online, then when you meet you, you're like an introvert. You know what I mean? But like,
right. Or you know, you got one of those, you know, I'm better than everybody type of vibes, and it's like, you know what I mean? So like,
that's what we're trying to get rid of.
It can fall apart.
Area.
Yeah, we need that. We need that out of here. So I commend you on what you're doing. You're kind of showing them, bro. I'm telling you, there's gonna be a time where people are going to look back and they're going to have to say things like, oh, you know, the beat tagger dude, yeah, that's why he kept popping up everywhere. I remember him when he was da-da-da-da-da-da-da, you know? Oh, I remember Finally TV, he had video da-da-da-da-da, he was doing this and that and that. I remember all that, you know? They're going to have to say things like that because I think we're all going to evolve and grow, you know, and the path that you're leading on is a path of success, you know, so you can eventually arrive somewhere where people know who you are. They're always checking for your music. They want to go to your shows. You know, it's going to get to that point, and you should be very proud of the fact that when they look back, they're going to see nothing but hustle behind all that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like the whole iceberg like thing. There was like this picture, and it was like this.
The tip of the iceberg. Yeah. The bottom of the iceberg is huge.
Yeah, and it's like all that work that went into just the top. You know what I mean? To see it. You know what I mean? So, really, very good analogy when I saw it. But so you've been busy, like we've been saying. And in that time, you started working on some music.
Yep.
You had Verdict. Now you had this new sound coming out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And for a good 6 weeks there, we kept hearing about this South Hills EP. South Hills.
Yeah, I was pushing it. I was pushing it pretty hard. Man.
Because that was. I would say you started going hard on that in 2020, and then it dropped on Valentine's Day, I think. Right. So that's 6 weeks of like, you know, hearing about it. How's that project going for you, man? And let's talk about it.
As of right now, which is I think over a week, a little over a week. Well, it was live, so I could give you live numbers before. Now I can't. I think it's like 2 days behind, but we hit 12K.
Okay.
So, you know, over 12K. And
12K streams, you're saying?
Yeah, okay. And we're gonna, you know, it keeps moving. I think my followers on Spotify is about to hit 100.
Okay.
So you know, it's slowly going up. And like I said, on Aaron Boogie, shout out In the Field Radio. Yeah. If you can watch people's streams, like you could follow the upstate, everyone everywhere. You could follow their streams on Spotify artists. Yeah. So that's another reason why I say like a lot of these egos over here, the people that you think are like, you know, like they act like, you know, oh, I need money for a feature when they should be just doing it for free because we're neighbors. You know what I'm saying? Right. Those people's streams are like non-existent. Right. So it's like why am I gonna pay for something, a product, right? Because your verse, your singing vocals are a product. Why am I gonna pay for it if I can't double my money back? That's how I look at it because I'm a businessman, you know. Sure. So it's like I don't know. I felt like a lot of people in this area, they need to humble themselves and they need to get rid of the ego. But at the same time, I see a lot of people in this area, the egos are kind of fading away. Yeah. It's like, you know, it's cool, man. I think I've ever since your show and a couple of other shows, you know, have you united and like you guys became like this united front. Yeah. You know, Rec Boys, you guys are all cool. In the Field Radio. Yeah. I'm sure there's more I'm missing, but this united front kind of like got these egos disappearing. There's still people with egos, but I feel like they're kind of disappearing, and it's becoming more love and support, and everyone's sharing and commenting on each other's stuff and reposting. So it's cool, man.
I take a lot of pride out of what you're saying, right? Because that was kind of the goal of where I was coming from with the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
I'm not taking credit for it all. You know what I mean? Like he said, there's different entities at work here, so I'm just a piece of the puzzle. But
a significant piece of the puzzle.
I will say this, though. I think that you're onto something when you say, because these platforms have emerged and they're talking about it, these egos seem to have been humbled a little bit. And it's, in my mind, it's because now everybody's on blast.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can't hide no more. There's no hiding behind a little circle.
Yeah, you guys are like TMZ.
You know what I'm saying? So now it's like, send your music into what we talking about. Yeah. You know what I mean? Me and Black are going to listen to it.
And we'll tear it apart.
We'll tear it apart if we have to.
Yeah.
If we don't like it, you know what I'm saying? I mean, Blackout, you got to do a lot to impress him nowadays. You know what I'm saying? With me, I get happy for people just because they had the guts to put together a song and send it in. Yeah. So I'm coming from a different perspective when we're both watching it and listening to it. But with that said, it's still being talked about. Yeah. Where before they might have been talking about it, but it wasn't on blast. It wasn't on 1,000 views on a podcast in a week on a Facebook page.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's not in a video where I'm talking about it and we got 100 or 200 views on it. It doesn't sound like a lot of views, but the point is that there was 0 views before. Yeah. And now there's a bunch of views with the 845 Mix Show out there in Kingston.
Yeah, I forgot that.
The Rec Boys. You got In the Field Radio. You got Finally TV. And then you got other podcasts that are bubbling up, like the Unreal podcast, you know what I mean? And
I think I've seen that one.
Yeah, that's Devin Wood.
I think he like says it's like a funny podcast, right?
He does like more of a funny thing.
Speaking of that, there's the dudes from what's his name? Come on, you know what I'm talking about. There's another podcast. Joe Mama.
Oh, Joe Mama. Yo, they're great. Yeah,
those are my boys. Yo.
They're great.
Shout out Santoro.
Yeah, if they ever took their focus and turned it onto the 845, that would be very interesting. You know what I mean? Because they don't really dive into it like we do. You know what I'm saying? But like if they ever were to do that, man, I think that would be super interesting. Shout out Joe Mama podcast.
Shout out you guys, man.
Yeah.
Santoro's are dope people, man, and their whole crowd that they keep with them. I performed at one of their parties, events.
Okay.
Great vibes, good people.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah. No, Santoro's good people. I've known him for a very long time. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about South Hills a little bit. This is the EP. It's a 5-song EP that you put out. Now, you dropped it on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
All right? Mm-hmm. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I listen to a lot of music, but all 5 songs have to do with like love, relationship, or a girl. Yeah,
except for the first one. Cut a Check, I wanted it to be like my most versatile track. You got that melodic singing, you got rap lyrics that are actually talking about the concept of the song, followed by more melodidic stuff. Yeah. So I didn't want it, when I worked on this, I wanted it to be enough of that melodic stuff, which is like the sound I'm working on, but I also wanted it to have a verse in it. So at first it was just like too much melodic stuff, too much verse. I feel like I finally narrowed the tracks down to South Hills where it's like you could hear me rapping, so okay, he could rap, but he could also do this like melodic singing thing. You know what I mean? And I feel like the first track is a versatile track. The rest is just like love songs with a concept song, which was Catfish.
Mm-hmm. But Catfish is still about relationships and girls and stuff.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So like, dropping it on Valentine's Day, was that why? Because it seemed to be so centered on relationship, female type?
I think it just worked out like that because I always like to drop on a holiday.
Okay.
And usually when you're supposed to drop something, I think you're supposed to drop it on a Thursday. Most releases come out, Thursdays or Fridays?
Thursday.
Thursday night at 12, midnight or something.
Yeah, it's Friday, but...
Yeah. So it's like Friday, but I think I dropped it on a Friday. Mm-hmm. And... I mean, it wasn't with like the norm, but it just worked out. I wanted to drop on a Friday so we can, track the numbers Friday to Friday, and
I see what you're saying.
Get the weekend numbers. And
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Gotcha. And we talked about numbers, and it's hit 12,000 views in just about 10 days. Right? It's been 10 days since it dropped. Today would be the 10th day. It got 2 more streams per song today because I was on Spotify streaming it.
Appreciate that.
You know, but yo, check it out. It's I'll put a link in the description. But it's Spotify.
Yeah, click that link.
Yeah, it's
and listen to it.
James Earl Woodz. The whole project is called South Hills. So let's talk a little bit about. You said, 5 songs. You set it off with a track that was a little bit more versatile, not so much about relationships and stuff, a little bit different.
Mostly that track, Cut a Check, was about like I say in the song, it's like, this is the reason why I'm marketable. That's basically what that song is. It's like, you should cut a check because I am marketable. I will double your profit if you sign me. But I don't actually, to be honest, I don't want to be signed. I like the independent route where it's all money going to me and my team. To be honest, my team, because my streams aren't 100% James Earl Woodz.
Right.
You got to give money to Verdict.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure. He produced all of it or most of it?
He produced 4 on them.
I was gonna say 4
except for Guava.
Gotcha.
Which is like my dance hall type song.
Guava.
Yeah, Judy loves Guava.
It makes references.
Lexi likes
you got
Guava.
some like no pun intended. You got some fruity references in there.
Oh yeah, real fruity. In a good way.
Yeah, talking about peaches and stuff.
Yeah, peaches and guava, all that.
How they taste. So if you had to pick a favorite song out of the 5, what would you say?
My favorite song, it's a mix between Cut a Check and Guava.
Okay.
It depends. Like I do love Guava, but I also love Cut a Check because it's a Beat Taggaz in-house production. Everything from like recording, the beat, everything is our team made. Fresh from like our ingredients. You know what I mean?
How have things changed for your Beat Taggaz now that you have like an official in-house producer?
I think it's changed big. You know what I mean? It's like huge because it's funny because we were talking about this on In the Field. Like there was a time when Verdict stopped making beats and I was like, didn't know what to do. It's like Verdict beat is like everything to like the core of my new sound is a Verdict beat. So when he would stop making beats for a little bit, I was searching, his SoundCloud, his Beat Stars, and I found one on his Beat Stars. And it's like, I had to go look up old Verdict beats to try to find this because I kind of feel like if you're looking for YouTube beats or whatever, there's just so much of it that it's almost overwhelming. So it's when you have a producer who's producing a sound you like, it's like, you just want new stuff from him. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's how I am. Like I only like Verdict beats. Like I might dibble and dabble in some other beats if it, actually sounds good. But mostly my core is like a Verdict beat. Like that's my producer. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's my sound. That's our sound. Like that's what I love to hear that.
Got you. I mean, there's really nothing wrong with that. You want to stay versatile.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I've worked with other people like Audio NY, which I met at the producer synergy with Drawzilla. Yep. And we're working on stuff on the low. Got a song with cans to one of his beats called Egg Rolls.
Got you. Shout out Drumline Studios, my man Drawzilla out there, man. You the man. He's doing another producer synergy soon. I'm probably gonna pop up.
I might pop up to that too. I really want to get people from the team to pop up to that. Like I want Farkas in there because Farkas got so much stuff in his hard drive. Yeah. That once he starts releasing it, like you guys heard Personalities, and Personalities is a dope song. So I want Farkas I want more people to hear Farkas because once they do, I think that's when it's like it's gonna take off when that there's 2 people in the crew and then they hear Woods and there's 3 people, 4 grills. Like once people actually start hearing this and it starts reaching the masses, it's like we're gonna become a powerhouse. You know what I mean?
I can see that with Farkas, and I guess I could say this about any artists, but with Farkas, I feel like once his fan base realizes that he's what they want, I think it's over with because he has a certain way about him, you know what I mean, and like the way he wants to deliver his music and what his content.
It's passion, man.
Yeah, so when he makes the connection to a fan base, it's gonna be sick for him. You know what I mean? Like I think they're gonna go OD on you know, they don't go too much.
Yeah.
Best ever, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and eat it up while you can, you know what I mean? For sure. But like, I think that's what it's going to be like for him, because once you put yourself out there like that, and like I was talking about this yesterday, once you show that vulnerability, you know what I mean? And you open up and you let people relate to what you got going on, that's when you really solidify the fans, you know, and that relationship that you're going to have, you know what I mean? So, you know, good things to come, I think, for Taggaz for sure. Yeah,
and Farkas kind of got like a niche, I guess you could say, in the market, because there's not many people who are like vulnerable or like, you know, talk about deep, you know, subject matter, but still can keep it like in this realm of like, you know, that melodic hip hop with some like actual lyrics that are like, you know, pretty like meaningful. Yeah. So it's like, you know, and I don't think that you could say like, oh, who's the best rapper out there? Because there's too many subgenres.
Right.
So it's like, if you could find your market and you run with that, like, you can't say, oh, this person's better than HOLLO, because
it's different.
No one's you know what I'm saying? We honestly created our own sound. It doesn't sound like, you can't listen to us and say, oh, this sounds like that. You know what I mean?
Right. You should be proud of that too.
Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, it's cool, man. You know what I mean?
So, you know, we haven't even told them exactly. I listened to it on Spotify, but let the people know exactly where they can find this South Hills EP of yours.
Yeah, you can just go on, like I said, JamesEarlWoodz with a Z. Everything's under JamesEarlWoodz. Type in, could go on my artist page or type in South Hills. I'm pretty sure it will pop up. No Z. That's an S at the end of that one. And I'm sure everything will pop up.
And what's the most preferred way for them to consume your music for you?
Me, I mean, either or. You could consume it any way you want. I get paid if you go through Spotify or Apple Music or iTunes. You know, YouTube, I haven't really seen them paying me out yet. I think you got to hit like 4K watch time, and
you gotta do
like some crazy numbers.
You gotta do 1,000 subscribers,
and
so 10,000 hours.
Yeah, so don't stream it on YouTube. I want to get paid.
But it's out on YouTube too.
Yeah, you know, the music distributor, you have an option to put it on YouTube, and so put it out there on that.
I think it's smart just to put it out there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Just let them consume it. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Because there's gonna be people who don't want to pay for it on iTunes, don't have a streaming service because, you know, they're too lazy or whatever. And the easiest way is just YouTube.
Yeah,
you know
and everybody has YouTube. You know what I mean. So I get it. Just for the exposure alone, you know, I think it's a good idea. HOLLO, man, it's always a pleasure talking with you, man. It really is. I'm happy to have you here today. Anything else you want to touch on before we let the people go listen to your music?
Yeah, you know, I just want y'all to stream South Hills. Let's get this up to like 100K, man.
Yeah.
Or, you know, let's get it up to 1 million so I can get four grand back.
I was gonna say, you get your 3,800.
You know what I'm saying? Let's run this up. You know, I got bills to pay. I gotta get out of debt. Let's freaking run these numbers up. Let's keep going. Let's right now we about to hit what? We're on 12. Let's hit 20 by the end of the week.
Yeah.
Let's hit 50 by the end of next month or something. You know, let's keep running it up.
Yeah.
Keep getting me paid.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. It's about making good music and getting paid for it.
That's it. You know, and good vibes, good energy comes with all that. You know what I mean? So you just keep doing what you're doing. Super proud of what you got going on, man. So make sure you keep that going.
Yeah, definitely. Also, I got the 845 MVP podcast. That's was from John Eldridge coming out. We had Big Veg on the videographer. We had Calcutta as the photographer. Mikey D, who you know, got on that, which is a legend. Plus a bunch of dope artists, man. So that's coming out soon. The music video for that. We got stuff in the, you know, working with Cans, a bunch of new songs. Farkas is going to be dropping some new music. Woodz been working on a lot of new stuff. Grills, I think, just recently met up with you, and
we did some cool things.
Yeah, you know, I don't know if
shout out Monster and Grills. We sat down and we did the Why His Conspiracy podcast. Very interesting. I don't know if that's going to be the ultimate name of it, but something we're definitely gonna do. I got an hour worth of content with us talking our shit. So so, you know, all the beat taggers are working. You know, we're also gonna be working with
gonna try to do something with it's Bliss and That podcast.
Bliss and That Show podcast. Yep.
I'm probably gonna be doing something with Your Mama podcast soon. You know, I'm been talking with the Rec Boys. Gonna be doing something with them. So we just keep moving around, man. You know, it's all about networking and putting all of us together. And you know, if I push your brand, you push my brand, we all blow up together. And you know, let's keep that pushing into the new year. I like to say, from last time I came here, there's been, you know, over 1,000% progression. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what's up, man. That's what's up, and I hope this platform helped in some way, shape, or form. I really do.
I think this platform was what got the momentum at first. You know what I mean? That was like our first momentum, because I think we came here. Mm-hmm. And then we went to that show, and then we never looked back ever since. But it started here, yeah.
And when you say that show, you mean the one out in Philly that you guys did, or Pennsylvania or something?
No, we did the LNAO first.
Oh, that.
But then then we did the show in Philly, opening up for Cassidy. And
yeah, you guys had a good time with that. The footage on that, I felt like I missed out on a good time. Yeah,
like that show, like, just showed that like the outstate love is just crazy. It's like we really, if we could, we'd do so much more. You know, out of state shows, because ain't nobody show love more than, like, dude, that Pennsylvania love was crazy. Like, we were bigger than Cass that night, and I'm not fronting at all. Like, people were going outside like, yo, who's out? Who those white boys rapping? Like, you know what I'm saying? It was crazy. Like Cass actually stopped the car. His what was it, manager or something, stopped the car for us and was like, he was trying to leave, but he actually stopped to say what up and take a picture with us. Like, he stopped for us because he's seen us.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't see him in the corner, but Farkas was saying he was in the corner watching us. Like, this motherfucker's can spit.
And it's hard to get a compliment about a Cassidy.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it was cool, man.
Everything sucks except him.
Yeah, exactly. Even him making beats, he was like,
you know what I mean? Like, can't tell him nothing. So no, that's great, man. Well, go cop that, South Hills, like you said, Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, all that good stuff. Make sure you go get that.
It's my favorite tea, by the way. I know you usually ask favorite food, but man.
Favorite tea right now is Pure Leaf?
Yo, Pure Leaf Peach. You should sponsor this, you know what I'm saying? If you're not sponsoring.
Yeah, not sponsored by and should be.
Yeah.
You know.
Amazing.
But, party people, we just need to touch base with all of you and just let you know HOLLO's got some good stuff going on. James Earl Woodz is Beat Taggaz. The EP is South Hills. Got the What We Talking About podcast.
March 17th.
March 17th. We back in the building, so be on the lookout for that. So shout out to everybody who's watching this. Shout out Beat Taggaz. Finally TV, we out.